Hey, thanks for tuning into the Xtreme channel. My name is Mr. X. We're all about extreme collectibles here, and as you see on the table, we have two giant Hulk statues. Specifically, these are from World War Hulk, King Hulk, Green Scar, on throne, and today they're gonna battle it out with each other. That's right, we're gonna do an Xtreme Rumble or an Xtrumble, where we take on my left the Queen Studios quarter scale license statue versus the custom Halima on my right statue. And I probably pronounced Halima wrong. And if you don't like that, you can get underneath my table. As the Xtreme channel is pushing towards 50,000 subscribers, these are just a few of the statues we are giving away on the journey there. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey, once again, thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you're a follower of the channel, you know that I have reviewed both of these fantastic looking statues before. Years ago, I reviewed the Halima on throne. Again, this is a custom piece. They made a small run of them. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail. If you want to, go back and check out that video. But if you don't do that, I highly encourage you to check out the recent video. It is actually a giveaway. We're doing it in about a month on this channel for you guys, courtesy of Spec Fiction, a fantastic distributor out of California. And as I said in that video, Todd, the owner of Spec Fiction, is going to be here with me live as we raffle this off. However, to enter, you have to watch that other video and it'll tell you how to enter. So make sure to do that and make sure to check out Spec Fiction. There's a link in the description below. Use code XTREME20 to get a discount when you buy something. So, what's crazy is I've done probably about 20 of these comparison videos of very similar statues. And it's always really difficult because this is art. It's very subjective. There are some measurable things we can talk about, like the size of the statue, obviously price, a few other things. But at the end of the day, collectors should make an opinion based off of what they like the best and what fits best in their collection. If somebody disagrees with them, you should call them a coward and publicly shame them, because if they have a different opinion, no, that's what everyone says you should do. You should do the opposite. You should respect that they have a different opinion, and different opinions are what makes the world great, with some exceptions. So with that, there's not a ton of differences between these. So this is not going to be our traditional formatted Xtreme Rumble or Xtrumble that we do, but I do want to highlight a few different things. So let's first talk about the fact that one is licensed, one is custom. So that means that Queen Studios actually went to Marvel and said, hey, we want to create this character based off the comics. We're going to put a little bit of our own spin on it. Would you approve? Now that's a very big oversimplification. It takes a lot longer than that. And I've actually had the pleasure multiple times of hanging out with the Queen Studios owner and some of their other team, asking them tons of questions about licensing. Yes, that's a little bit of a flex, but they are fantastic people. When you really get something licensed, not only does it cost a lot of money, but it takes a long time. Where the one on the right is a custom. It's a private unlicensed commission. They didn't go to Marvel. They just made this, and they really did their own interpretation, and that's one of the things we're going to compare differently. Now, for that reason, some people won't touch custom pieces with a 10-foot pole. And there is definitely a dick joke in there, but I'm just too tired to do it.
That's what she said.
The first thing I want to compare with these two is I want to talk about the price point, because I think it's a pretty big deal. And if you're a follower of the channel, you know I've owned the custom for a long time, and I was tempted to buy the Queen Studios because I think there are some things that are definitely better, but I didn't because of the price point. So the custom one generally goes for around $1,000. I've seen it go anywhere from $800 to $1,500 in the past 5 to 10 years or so. Where the Queen Studios, particularly this version, is usually $1,800 to $2,000. Keep in mind, both of these you have to add shipping. Shipping is quite a bit more on the Queen due to the massive weight, which is another category we're going to talk about. And not only that, but there's a lot more of the Queen Studios. There's actually up to 800 of these, where I believe they only made 50 of the custom. So when it comes to value or rarity or what's a better purchase, it is definitely the custom without a doubt. I mean, you not only spend a lot less, but there's a big rarity factor to it. But sometimes you get what you pay for. So maybe the licensed Queen Studio is a ton better. Well, let's look into that. Now, they're both very similar concepts. And again, this is taken from some of the literature. You saw that I had the omnibus in the back. They are sitting on a stone throne. They have weapons around them. We're going to talk a little bit more about the differences, both very menacing in the King Hulk armor. They have King Hulk crowns, which are actually different. We're going to look at that as well. So very similar concept. So if this is kind of what you're going for, you love this storyline, which I thought was moderate. Wasn't great, but wasn't bad. from Marvel. Both, I think, are a great representation. I don't think one concept beats the other. The slightly different things on the concept is the Queen Studios has tons of weapons. So they both share an axe. You can see it right here. There's actually multiple axes on the Queen Studios. And they both share a sword. But then the Queen Studios has a number of other weapons that he assumably used in the Gladiator Arena and used to become King Hulk. The other difference is the custom actually has fallen heroes. So a big thing with throne statues, they always make fallen heroes. Not only do you see Xavier on the bottom, so they tied the X-Men into this, but he's crushing Iron Man's helmet. And then, of course, the Fantastic Four banner he tore from the street sign, and that is flying in the wind in the back. And then on mine, I actually added XM Hulkbuster battle damage top because I leave the top open on the display. I think it adds a little bit to it. Sometimes with my display options, I'll actually put them with other statues, particularly thrones, because throne statues, like I said, have the fallen enemies. So this may be something that is very subjective, so I can't really rate it. If you're wanting one that's more comic accurate, it's probably the Queen with all the weapons. But if you want one that's just cool as shit, well, they're both that cool. I really like that the Halima shows he beat the X-Men, he beat Iron Man, he beat the Fantastic Four. That is pretty neat as well. So the custom, what you see is what you get. There's no other display options. Where with the Queen Studios, there are. So they both have a portrait that he's kind of baring his teeth, looks very grimacing. And on this, you can see the different crowns. And actually, I think the silver is the one that's comic accurate, the custom, which kind of blows my mind because it's not licensed. But you do have other display options with the Queen. Depending which version you can get one where he has the Gladiator Hulk helmet. So it could represent that. Or just a pissed off face as well, which I really like. So for display options, the Queen actually has more. Now another thing about display is displayability. And they are both with their problems. So first one, this Queen Studios is probably the heaviest quarter scale statue I've ever seen. Quarter scale means 4 times smaller than a real life version. And as you can see, they're pretty similar size with the exception of the flag on the custom we're going to talk about in a second. But it weighs so much. It easily weighs 2.5 to 4 times more than the custom. That is a huge negative in my opinion. Moving it with one person just isn't safe while I've done it. I highly wouldn't recommend it where it's no problem with the custom. Now even though they're about the same size, the custom actually has this flag. Now it is removable, but it leaves a giant keyhole in the back. But if you're putting it in the display cabinet like the ones I have behind me, you would never see that. So you can display it without the flag. It almost makes the display of the flag prohibitive, or you can't do it because many display options just don't have that kind of height. And to put it in perspective, I'm sure I measured it in the review, but it's over 34 inches tall, almost 35, where this guy is about 27 with the Gladiator style helmet, which you could remove and save another 2 or 3 inches. So I'm gonna call it a tie on both. I love the flag, but I hate how hard it makes it to display, and I hate the weight of the Queen Studios. The packaging on both of these also sucked. This one came in a huge box with some flimsy foam. Thankfully, it's lighter. And if you go back and watch the video on this, you'll know the nightmare I had with the packaging as well. So let's talk about paint and sculpt. You saw my video on both of these. I think the Queen is superior on both. I would put it highly superior on the sculpt, but I would put it moderately superior on the paint. Now, with that being said, I don't think it's bad on the custom, and not just because I own it, but I truly do like the custom, especially putting it back up here on the table and examining it close. They did a very nice job. So if that's what's important to you, hey, I want great details and over-the-top statues, the Queen is the way to go if you can deal with the weight and the much higher price tag. So for me, it was really a no-brainer. I didn't get the Queen because I already was $1,000 into this one. I didn't need to bother, try and sell it, and spend another $2,000 on this one. But if I was in a different position and I didn't own either, and I had that choice, $1,000 for the custom, $2,000 for the Queen, I would have to think long and hard. Depending on your financial situation, some people, it's a no-brainer. The custom would be the way to go. It's almost as good with the paint and sculpt, has some other advantages, and it's half the price. Where people where money isn't an issue, they may jump immediately to the Queen. So I think when it comes to these two, the deciding factor is money, in my opinion. And whether you have $1,000 in the bank, well, first of all, if you have $1,000, I hope you're not spending it on a statue. But whether you have $10,000 in the bank or $10 million, I think the custom's the way to go, despite the Queen being superior in a couple different ways. What do you guys think? Throw that down in the comments below, but more importantly on the community tab of the YouTube channel, the Xtreme channel. I'm going to put a poll the day this launches, so go ahead and fill that out. But below in the comments, put why you're picking whichever one you're picking. I'd love to know that. I love to interact with you guys, and that will get you entered into the statue giveaway. We will be giving all of these statues away, plus additional ones at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. To win one of these statues, all you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and then just drop a comment below. Every 5,000 subscriber milestone, we are going to do a random drawing and pick a random comment and give one of these statues away, plus some additional ones I'm not showing right now. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss that live video where the Todd Father and I give away this amazing Queen Studios piece. In the meantime, at least like this video because we're giving it away, and I love you guys. Don't worry, it's totally sexual.